Hello, my name is Kumkum Gautam, and today we'll discuss another phylum, that is Cnidaria, and or we called a coelenterate. So why we call them Cnidarians? Why we call these coelentrates? Now we call them Cnidarians because of the characteristic cells, the specialized cell they have. We call them cnidocytes. Now the cnidocytes are working as a defense organ in these Cnidarians, and these basically responsible for paralyzing the prey. Whosoever try to touch them, whosoever try to catch them, this cnidocyte is basically responsible for the protection. Now, the coelenterate, why we call coelenterate? Because they have a body cavity that is known as coelentron, and this is not lined by the mesoderm. So I told you in the previous lecture also that coelom is a very different thing, and the body cavity is very different. Why? Because when we are calling any coelom, that means any gut cavity or any cavity that is lined by the mesoderm, then only we can call them coelom. But this is only a body cavity and this is not lined by the mesoderm. So this is a coelentron. It's a simple cavity. That's why we call them coelentrates. Now they show aquatic habitat. It means they basically found in the water, and the water can be a marine or can be a fresh water. Now the other organisms that is found in the marine water, these are the Obelia and the sea fur. That is example of Cnidarians, and the freshwater example is Hydra. This is important. Now, they can either be a sessile or free floating. That means the Cnidarians can found to be attached with any substratum or rocks. That means they are not able to move. This is called sessile nature. Why the free floating nature means they are free to move in the water. Okay. Now, they may be solitary or colonial. Solitary is basically when they present individually. Okay. Colonial means when they present in groups. Now, what is radial symmetry? Radial symmetry is a symmetry in which if we took any organism, okay, just take an example, this is an organism and we want to divide this organism into two equal halves, but this can only divide in two equal halves when we divide through its central axis. Okay, like horizontally if we cut, it can divide into two equal halves. Okay, so you can divide any type of organism of the Cnidarians in two equal halves by any vertical plane, by any plane when they are passing through their uh, central axis. That is known as radial symmetry. Now, most of them have tentacles. Now, tentacles are present on their anterior position. Anterior position is the position which is nearer to the face. Okay. Now, tentacles can be a solid, right? Example is Obelia. And they can be a hollow. Example is like Hydra. Move to the next point. They are diploblastic in nature. Diplo means two. Blastic means layers. So they have ectoderm and they have endoderm. And endoderm we also call them gastrodermis. Now they show a tissue level of organization. Now I told you in the poriferans that they are showing a cellular level of organization because cells are performing functions. They are not organized. They are not organized into tissues. While in the Cnidarians, the cells are organized in such a way that they can form tissues, and these tissues are responsible for different functions they are performing. Okay, right? They are the most ancient eumetozoans with extracellular digestion. That means the digestion has taken place outside the cell. So consider this is a cell and this is another cell. So digestion is taking place here, you know, outside the cell. While they can also show a intracellular digestion. So inside the cell means inside the cell digestion can be take place. Now they respire through general body surface. So basically they do not have particular system or a particular organ through which they can respire. So They are respiring through the general body surface. Similarly, excretion is through the general body surface. Now, let's talk about its nervous system. In the poriferans, there is no nervous system is present. So here, present for the first time. So remember, the first time nervous system can be seen in invertebrates in cnidarians. Okay, so they have a neurons are apolar. Neurons are apolar in this, and which do not have fixed dendrite axon. Means they do not. We cannot describe that they are having uh, that much dendrites or they are having that much axons. No, we cannot describe it. We don't know that how much dendrites they have, how much axons they have. We cannot describe it. So they are forming a nerve net-like structure. Here you can see, you cannot say that this is a dendrite, that how many dendrites are there, how many axons are there. But these nerves are forming a nerve net-like structures. So you cannot predict that how much dendrites are there, how much axons are there. They are diffuse type of nervous system, you can say. Next is they show a metagenesis. Metagenesis also we called alteration of generation, and this is a very specialized function in the cnidarians that they show. Okay, this metagenesis basically alteration between the sexual phase and asexual phase, and this metagenesis takes place in between polyp and the medusae. I'm going to explain in the later slides. Next is stetocyst. Stetocyst is a very important term as it is a structure for equilibrium. So they require also they do a function of balancing an organism, maintaining the equilibrium in the organism. And they are consist of calcium carbonate crystals. They do not contain circulatory system. They do not have proper blood system or circulatory system that something is oxygen need to be transported here or CO2 should be diffused. Or no, they do not have any particular circulatory system. Next is reproduction. Reproduction can be occur either through ways. This is asexual and this is sexual. Okay, asexual means there are no germ cells are involved in it. It means there are no sperm or ova involved in it. And it occurs through the budding. Budding is basically when you cut a small part, a small bud from the organism, and this bud is responsible for giving rise to the whole organism is known as budding. Fragmentation means when you cut something in a number of fragments and these fragments are developing, that is known as fragmentation. Regeneration means they have ability to regenerate, something has lost, so we can regenerate it again. So just take an example. This is and something. Okay, we cut here by some plane. Now after this, it will remain like this. This, but it has ability to regenerate. That means they can again form this structure. Sorry, wait. They can again form this whole structure. So this is called regeneration. Next is sexual. They can uh, they can be a dioecious or they can be monoecious. Monoecious or dioecious means they can be a hermaphrodite or they can be a bisexual or show a sexual dimorphism. So both are present. Now they show cross fertilization. Important thing is the male organ formed first. That means we also call this process proto-androus. Proto means the thing that is forming first, primitive, first. Androus means that is related to the male. Okay, that's why we call this proto-androus. Now we come to they basically undergo for the indirect development. What does it mean? So indirect development, when we call, that means they are having some larval stages in their development. Okay, if larva is found in any development stages of any organism, then we call them indirect development. If larva doesn't found, then this will be a direct development. And direct development is taking place in Hydra. Remember this, the development takes place in Hydra. Now, if the planular lava, this is in lava, if it is formed, then it can be formed in Obelia, while the Ephara lava is specific lava which is formed in Aurelia. Now, fertilization can be occurred through the external means or internal means. Internal means inside the body, external means inside in the water. Okay, so the male will remove their sperms in the water, and the female will come near to these sperms, and then the female carrying the ova, and then the sperm and ova come in contact with each other and they fertilize together. So, to external means in the water. Regeneration is basically possible due to totipotent cells, that is interstitial cells. Okay, I already told you that what is regeneration and how it is occurred. Now, regeneration is basically like the same way. If you cut this organism, it has the ability to form it again. So this is also called as repairing. Now there is one more term that has been used to listen in this, that is morpholexis or morphogenesis. That means the growth of organism from a single part. Okay. When we call about the epimorphosis, that means when lost part grows back. Like take an example, if we have an hydra and we cut their tentacles. So then through the epimorphosis, those tentacles can grow back. So that is called epimorphosis. So so today we're gonna finish this class, and I hope you like it. And if you like the video, please subscribe. Thank you.